so that I can proceed ahead. So that I can proceed ahead. So that I can proceed. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on basics of ITR filing. My name is Nupur Parmar and I am tax expert associated with Cleartax. I am here to share very useful tips on ITR filing and help you learn few things related to the taxes. So let's quickly get started. But firstly, I want to thank you all for joining today's session. I'll make this session super useful and interesting to you. So if you have any questions, you can ask over the chat box during my presentation. My colleague Nitisha Jain will answer them, and when I'm done with it, at last I'll take few questions. So I request you all to make this session very interactive and take the best of it. So let's start it. As we are in the month of September, and usually you are all aware that 31st July is the last day to file the ITR. But due to COVID and due to the new income tax portal, due to many issues in the new portal, the due date has been extended for this year, which has been extended to 31st of December as of now, and which has allowed us a lot of time to understand our taxes better so that we can file our tax returns properly. So moving ahead, tax return filing being one of the most important financial compliance during the year, it is of utmost importance that you file your tax return as correctly as possible and as diligently as possible. So to avoid certain mistakes, certain things you should keep in mind before filing your ITR, and we are going to discuss it in today's session. So we will discuss about the Form 16, we'll understand the Form 16 in deep, we'll understand its significance, then we'll understand the income from house property, like what income should be included in house property, and the next we'll discuss about the income from other sources, like what exactly it should be reported in the ITR, and next we'll discuss about the Form 26A, how to download it and how important it is to file our ITR. And at last we'll see the documents that are required to for us for filing your ITR. And at last we'll see the demo on Cleartax on how to file the ITR using the JSON file. So after all this, and at last I'll take the question and answers. So this is the agenda for today. Now moving ahead, first thing we must understand before going ahead, that is proceeding, as what is Form 16 and what is its significance. So each year your employer issue a Form 16 certificate, as you all are aware of it. So this is a certificate that is issued under Section 203 of Income Tax Act, and which basically provides details about the tax amount that has been deducted by your employer, which is usually called as TDS, that is your tax deducted at source. So apart from this TDS component, it also contains details about your salary, other income, and tax benefits that have been availed by you in the last financial year. Like if you look into your Form 16, it has the detailed information about the manner of calculating the tax under the income tax laws, like how exactly your tax is being calculated, what is the breakup of your tax, that is your income tax, your education cess, your surcharge, all the breakup details regarding your tax you can find it in your form 16, and how much exactly you are required to pay on it. So this breakup of your tax components will also be mentioned in your form 16. So if you look into the components of your form 16, these components helps us to understand the taxes paid, and also it helps us in better tax planning we can do for the next financial year. Like if you are if you know like in this year how much tax has been deducted, and if you want to reduce it, you can look into the more avenues to reduce it, and for the next year you can accordingly plan and you can further invest on it so that your taxes have been reduced. Most importantly, this form 16 will assist you in filing your income tax return. For all the salaried employees, form 16 is the most important document to file your income tax return. So this form 16 mainly comprises of two sections. First is part A, which contains all your personal information like your name, address, employer name and address, and also your PAN and your employer's PAN and your TAN of your employer. Am I audible? Is my voice clear or any issue? Is it better now? Okay, thank you. So as we were discussing about the part B of your form 16, part A of your form 16. So part A basically contains all your personal information like your name, your address, your employer's name and address, your PAN and your employer's PAN, the TAN of your employer, and all the details of the TDS payment. So we can say basically it provides the summary of TDS that have been deducted by the employer on your behalf. So TDS is deducted by the employer from your salary every month as tax, and it will be credited to the income tax department on your behalf by your employer. So all these information will assist the income tax department to keep the track of money flow from your own account as well as your employer's account. Like exactly how much TDS has been deducted and how much tax has been deposited on your behalf by the employer uh, under your PAN. So all this information will be mentioned in the form 16 part A, like about your TDS details and your personal information. Now let's discuss about the part B. So this part of form 16 provides major information that you require to file your income tax return, like the amount of salary that you have received, if you have claimed any exemptions like your HRA allowances, LTA, all those things will be reflected in your part B. If you have claimed any deductions like ATC, ATD and all, so all this information about your deductions, your exemptions, all the information regarding your say income from your salary will be reflected in your form 16 part B. So based on all these deductions and exemptions declared by you, tax calculation is being done, and accordingly every month tax will be deducted from your salary, and this will be reflected in your form 16 as how much tax was deducted for the entire year. So this will give you a clear picture of how much tax you have paid for the entire year. Now at this point I would like to discuss 2 points. The number one, uploading form 16 in the Cleartax portal and filing your income tax return is the most easiest way to file your ITR, which we'll see the demo for it in the later part of the presentation. And number two, the most important thing is, if you're switching job during the year, then what happens? So many of us have already experienced this, Like whenever there is a job switch or job change, there is an additional tax payable at the time of filing your ITR. So we'll have a brief discussion on this. So what will happen? Your previous employer will consider this your new employment as the only employment, and they will calculate the taxes accordingly. And your new employer has no idea about your previous employment, like how much income you have earned from the previous employment or how much tax was deducted. So the new employer will consider this as the only employment, and they will compute the taxes accordingly. So what will happen here is, at the time of filing your ITR, the income for the entire year will be considered for the tax calculation, right? Income from the previous employment as well, and the income from the current employment. So when you club both the income, your income will be it will be taxable at the higher slab rate. If you club the entire income, it will be higher income. So first of all, if you are switching job for higher amount of salary, then you are earning higher salary, right? So your tax deduction should also go up. Now if you observe that tax deduction is happening at the lower rate, then you should contact the payroll department and get this rectified as soon as possible. Otherwise, at the time of filing your ITR, when you upload two Form 16s which were issued by both the employers, you will see that you are getting the extra tax payable, which you could have been completely avoided earlier if you had declared the previous employer's salary, your tax deduction, and everything to your new employer. So it will be better if you keep eye on your tax computation and check whether it has been calculating correct or not. If you see or if you feel any mistake or any tax deduction is happening at the lower rate, please contact to the payroll department and get this rectified as soon as possible to avoid the additional tax payable at the time of filing your ITR. Now, next question comes to your mind that should I pay taxes on my salary income at the time of filing ITR? Ideally, if you declare every single thing, that is your deductions, all your income, everything to your employer, and there are no additional income coming other than salary, then you should be fine that there will not be any tax payable at the time of filing ITR. But if you are having any income apart from your salary, say for example, if you are working as a freelancer on the side while working with your employer, then you might have to pay some additional amount as taxes while filing your ITR. Also, you might be having some FDs, right? And you might be earning interest from that. So on the interest from FDs, usually the banks deduct TDS, which is usually at 10% of the interest amount. But if you're being taxed at higher rate, let's say marginal slab rate applicable to you is 20% or 30%. So you need to pay additional taxes at the time of filing your tax return. So it entirely depends on your sources of income and whether they have been accounted or not in your Form 16. If the entire income is reflected in your Form 16, all your deductions, exemptions correctly, then there will not be any additional tax payable at the time of filing ITR. Otherwise, you will have to pay the additional taxes. Now, second most important question comes to your mind. Should you need to pay income taxes on every rupee earned as salary? The short and simple answer is no, because there are certain deductions and exemptions that you can claim to reduce your taxes. Number one, the most important and well known of the instrument is your HRA component. So HRA component is eligible when you are staying in a rented place and you are paying certain amount as rent every month, then you can claim this house rent allowance. Now, many people are under the impression that whatever amount of money you are paying as rent during the year, that entire amount of money is deductible as HRA from your salary. But let me clear that is not the case, because to compute HRA, there are certain calculations happening and that has been described under the income tax rules. So I'll go through it once so you guys can understand how exactly it is being computed, and it will give you a clear picture about it. So to calculate HRA, three things are required. Number one is your basic salary. Number two is your actual HRA that you are receiving. And number three is how much yearly rent that you have paid. So there are three calculations happening once you receive these three amounts with you. The first calculation is your 40% of the basic salary will be considered. The second, how much actual amount of HRA that you are receiving will be considered. And the third and final component is whatever rent you are paying minus 10% of your basic salary will be considered. Now, after getting these three calculations, you need to see which is the least among all these three. So, whatever amount is least, that much is only allowed as deduction as HRA, and that will be reduced from your taxable salary, not the entire amount of rent that you are paying. So, this is the picture behind the HRA. Now, next important thing in this regard is your leave travel allowance, that is your leave travel assistance. So during the year, if you have made any expenditure for domestic travel, say as long as it is within India and through AC, rail or economic class through air, then those expenditure can be claimed as LTA. Here it does not only cover you, but it also covers your spouse, your children, your dependent parents and every member of your family. And one of the key point of LTA is available to you for 2 years out of a period of 4 years block. Now the block has started in 2018. Here it covers calendar year and it will be ending in 2021. So during this period, if you have traveled to any place in India and you have not claimed for it, so this would be the right time to claim the LTA. But last year, due to COVID, none of us could travel. So, government came up with some addition in the recent budget to what could be claimed under this LTA or LTC. So, if you bought anything with 12% GST between 12th of October 2020 to 31st March 2021 and you have paid electronically for it, then you can claim that purchase under this LTC. So here it could be anything like your clothes, electronics, car, bike, anything that has 12% or more GST. So your question might be how much can you claim here? Say for example, if you bought goods of rupees 1 lakh, you could claim 1/3 of it, that is 33% of it, 33,000 rupees can be claimed. But subject to the maximum of how much allowance you are receiving from your employer, and the maximum tax exemption allowed under the scheme is 36,000 rupees only per person. So you need to check your eligibility in your payslip also as how much allowance you are receiving, subject to which only it can be claimed. If you are not receiving any LTA component, then you cannot claim this allowance. So this was regarding your HRA and LTA. Next, moving ahead, in your form 16, you can also see there are two more components. One is your standard deduction and second is your professional taxes. So standard deduction has been introduced 3 years back, which has replaced two allowances, that is your transport allowance and medical reimbursement. So in this, a straightaway deduction of 50,000 rupees is available. So you can also find this in your form 16. Part B, you can check this. A standard deduction of 50,000 rupees will be given. So that will be deducted from your taxable salary and it will help you to save the bit amount of your taxes. Second thing is your professional taxes. So professional taxes is something which is collected by state government. So every state has some professional tax rules and every employee has to pay certain amount as professional taxes, which might be 2,400 rupees per annum to 2,500 rupees depending upon the state. So this is also being reflected in your Form 16. So these two are the standard deduction that is coming under your salary, and that will be reflected in your Form 16, and it will be given to you whether you claim it or not. So these two deductions are available to you straight away. Apart from that, let's talk about some bigger deduction like ATC. So ATC in general terms, like if you are making tax saving investments in PPF account or in ELSS or in say Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana or LIC premium, you are paying LIC premium, then you can take the benefit of it at the time of filing your ITR. And if you declare correctly, everything will be reflected in your Form 16 and you will get the benefit automatically. But many of us, due to some certain reason or the other, could not declare the investment in the employer portal. But that is not the end for you, because even if you miss the opportunity to declare the investment at your employer's portal, you can always claim them at the time of filing your ITR. So whenever you're filing your ITR, if you want to edit your investment, if you want to add or delete something, you can always do, subject to it which you have the you have the valid proof to substantiate it further if required. So under ATC, you can claim many benefits like ELSS, PPF, unit linked insurance plan, your NPS contribution, your tax saving fixed deposit, Sukanya Samriddhi account investment, life insurance premium, principal repayment of home loan, children's education fees, and many. But all these portion of the ATC has a limit of 1.5 lakh rupees only. Maximum 1.5 lakh rupees can only be claimed as deduction under section ATC. So this was regarding your ATC brief. Now apart from ATC, one of the most other popular section is ATD. So ATD is the section that is available to you if you have taken a medical insurance plan. So if you have medical insurance for you and your family, whatever amount you are paying to keep that policy in force as premium can be claimed as deduction under this section. So in this case, many insurance organizations collect GST on your premium. Say for example, if your premium is 20,000 rupees and GST on it is 2,000 rupees, then entire 22,000 rupees can be claimed as deduction under this section. So in this section, maximum limit is 25,000 rupees for yourself, your spouse and your children. So now what about if you are paying medical insurance premium of your parents who are senior citizen, that is 60 years or above? Then that limit will be increased to 50,000 rupees. So for you, your spouse and your children it is 25,000 rupees, and for senior citizen parents it is 50,000 rupees. Now in some scenarios, medical insurance organizations are reluctant to give insurance coverage to your senior citizen parents. Then what will happen in that case? So in that case, if your senior citizen parents are not covered under any medical insurance policy, then you can take medical expenditure incurred for them as deduction, provided that amount is not crossing 50,000 rupees. So maximum amount that can be claimed for senior citizen parents is 50,000 rupees. So expenditure for senior citizen parents can be claimed only if they are not covered under any medical insurance policy. So this is all about section ATD. Now let's talk about section ATCCD 1B. So what is ATCCD 1B? Indian government has introduced pension scheme, that is NPS, for which you are getting a deduction of 50,000 rupees additionally, that is over and above 1.5 lakh rupees of deduction under section ATC. Let me explain this with example. Suppose if you are contributing 1 lakh towards PPF and 50,000 towards LIC, which comes to 1,50,000 rupees, and that will exhaust the limit of ATC. But in this case, if you are investing to NPS Tier 1 account, say 50,000 rupees, then that 50,000 rupees is available additionally to the limit of 1.5 lakh rupees. So total deduction in this case will be 2 lakh rupees, and that will be very helpful for you to reduce your taxes. So under 80 CCD B1B, additional limit of 50,000 rupees is available to reduce your taxes. Now next thing we will discuss about is what is Form 26AS. So Form 26AS is a consolidated tax statement. It contains details about the taxes that you paid directly, or taxes that you are paid the taxes that are paid on your behalf, or taxes that are collected by you within a single financial year. So this Form 26AS gets issued every financial year, and you can download it directly from the income tax website. So we will see later on how to do this download. Coming now back to the Form 26AS, as you see there are different sections in this form, like section A, B, C, D and so on. So these sections are used to capture different types of tax transactions that you may have. For example, let's say you are employed. In that case, your company is paying salary to you and also deducting certain amount as tax on your salary, that is your TDS, and they are paying it to the income tax department on your behalf, right? So when you are getting your enhanced salary, it will be post tax deduction. So how will you know whether your company has paid the tax to the income tax department or not? So you can check it out in your Form 26AS. So basically, as company is paying on your behalf, it will be reflected on your PAN in your Form 26AS. Similarly, if you do any other transaction like say sale of property or any other transaction on which tax has been deducted for you or tax has been collected by you as a buyer, those all transactions which will be reflected in your Form 26AS. So this is a very important document because it will serve as a base when you're filing your income tax return, because you will have the proof that all the taxes that are already been deducted for you. It will give you as a summary at the time of filing your tax return. If you want to claim any refund, it will help you in claiming that. So it even includes the details of your fixed deposit interest income earned, on which if any tax has been deducted, that will also be reflected. Form 26AS also reflects the dividend amount that you have received from any company and any TDS deducted from it. So you can consider all the taxes that you have been paid by you or on your behalf through this form while filing your tax return. Now let's see how to download this form. So you will have to log into income tax portal. You will have to log in with your credentials there. PAN will be your login ID and the password as set by you. So once you log in to the income tax portal, from the menu, click on e-file and select the income tax return. You will get 5 to 6 options. Among them, you have to click on view Form 26AS. Once you click this, you will get a pop-up box which you need to confirm, and it will be redirect to the Traces website. From there, you need to proceed and select the relevant assessment year and download the form, and this form will help you in filing your income tax return. So this is the second most important form for the salaried employees while filing your income tax return. As I have discussed earlier that Form 26AS is the most important document. So Form 16 is the most important document, and you will also require the Form 26AS. Now moving ahead, let's discuss about the income from house property. So It is one among the taxable heads of income as per the Income Tax Act. So it will basically cover the income earned from a property by a owner. Say if you are receiving any rental income during the year, then it has to be reported under this head. So from this rental income, there are certain deductions available. First one is if you are paying municipal taxes which are levied by the local authority, then it is allowed as deduction against your rental income. So this deduction of municipal taxes is allowed only if you are a owner and it is borne by you, and only if you have actually paid it. So this municipal taxes deduction will be available against your rental income. Then second deduction available to you is the standard deduction, that is 30%. So this 30% of the deduction is allowed to you against your rental income. If you have let out your property during the year, then these two are the deductions that are available from your rental income straight away. Next, if you are paying interest on the borrowed capital, that is your home loan, then that interest portion of EMI is covered here. Principal portion, as we have discussed earlier, which was covered under section 80C, whereas interest portion of your EMI is covered under this head. So in case of your let out property, actual interest that you are paying will be entirely allowed as deduction. And in case of self-occupied residential property, maximum deduction only up to 2 lakh rupees is allowed. But anyhow, in the specific year, the loss from the house property maximum that can be set off against the other head of income is 2 lakh rupees only. Beyond 2 lakh rupees, it will not be allowed to set off. So you can avail this tax benefit if you're paying EMI, and that will reduce your taxable income and reduce your taxes, and it will help you in maximizing your enhanced salary. So this will help you to reduce your taxes. Now next thing we'll discuss is your income from other sources. So this is also one of the other heads of income that is chargeable to tax. Basically it covers any income that is not covered in the other four heads of income. So all the incomes that are excluded from, say, salary, from capital gains, from house property and from business and profession are included under this head, except the exempt income. Rest all the income that are excluded from the other heads will be included under this head. So let's take few examples of incomes that are relevant or common to us while filing our ITR. The first one is if you are having any interest income from fixed deposits or other deposits, it is covered under this head. Even the interest that is accumulated in your savings bank account is covered under this head. Further, a deduction up to 10,000 rupees is available under section 80 TTA for interest on your savings bank account. So your interest portion from FD, your interest portion from your savings bank account should be reported in your ITR under this head. Next, if you are earning any dividend income that is from shares or mutual fund, it has to be reported again under this head on quarterly basis. So basically this are the common incomes that are covered under this head. Now next, moving ahead, as we have understood about the different heads and understood about the deductions, exemptions, Form 16 and Form 26A, we will quickly go through what are the documents that are required to file your ITR. The first thing you will require is your PAN and your Aadhaar card. Next will be your Form 16 in case if you're a salaried employee that you might have received from your employer. If you have switched job during the year, then you might have received two Form 16 or multiple Form 16s. Then in that case, you should keep all the Form 16s with you. So multiple Form 16s will be required in case if you are switching a job. Next is your Form 26AS, which you will download from the income tax portal as we have discussed. Next, you will also require the bank statement, interest certificates, to consider your interest income from savings bank account or fixed deposits. If you want to claim anything additionally apart from your Form 16, then proofs for the same should be handy with you to substantiate your investment. If you have made any donations that are eligible for ATG, then receipt of the same are also required, as we have to report all the details of the donations in your ITR, like PAN and address of the donor, everything will be required. If you are having a home loan, then interest certificate of the same will also be needed to claim the interest or principal amount of the EMI, which we have discussed. For reporting the interest portion or principal portion, you will also require the home loan interest certificate. If you are having any capital gains from mutual funds or shares, then the same has to be reported under the head capital gains, for which again you will require your realized profit or loss statement, or I'll also show in the demo on how to upload those statements and which brokers are we supporting. So once you have all the things ready with you, you can file the ITR. So it will be easy for you to file the ITR. Now we will go through the demo on how to file ITR using the Cleartax platform. Give me a minute, I'll just switch the screen and then I'll show the demo. You have to log in to cleartax.in. Once you log in, you will be landing onto this page where you can find the three boxes. The first one is your income tax filing and the second is expert assisted service. If you have all the documents ready with you and if you can file your return yourself, then you have to go with the first option. In case if you are not confident in filing your return, or if you require any CA or tax expert help in filing your return, then in that case you have to click on this option where a tax expert will be assigned to you and they will help you in filing your income tax return. Now we'll quickly go on the demo on return filing by yourself. So this is a free platform where you yourself can file your ITR. So usually all the salaried employees will be having Form 16 with you. So if you're having the Form 16, you have to go with the first option. Suppose in case if you are not having the Form 16, then you have to click with the second option. Now I am assuming that we all are having the Form 16. So now you have to click on upload Form 16 and you have to upload the Form 16 here and you have to proceed. Once you proceed, if your Form 16 is password protected, our software also supports a password protected Form 16 where you have to enter your password and you have to continue. Once you continue, you see that there is a message where it says we have read your Form 16 successfully and you have to click on proceed. So once you click on proceed, you can see all the details are being reflected here. In case if you have switched the job during the year, you have to click on upload another Form 16 and you have to upload your other Form 16 or multiple Form 16. In case of single Form 16, you have to click on proceed to e-filing. Once you click on proceed to e-filing, you can see that all the data have been auto-populated by a software from your Form 16 and you are not required to enter anything. You will just have to enter your address and your contact details. That's it. And you have to proceed. Once you proceed, you can see that all the details of your salary, your employer have been captured automatically by your software from your Form 16 and you are not required to enter anything manually. You need to just check whether all the details have been reflected correctly or not. Once you are done with that, you have to move to the other income tab where you can see that there are multiple options available here. As we have discussed about income from other sources in our presentation, they were I think it got connected now. Can you hear me now? Can you please confirm over the message? Okay. Sorry, there was interruption in the connection. So as we were discussing about income from other sources, as we have discussed earlier in the presentation that you have to report your interest income from savings bank account and your interest income from deposits.
Google complete हो जाओ successful.
Purpose red થઈ ગયું yellow red.
તારો ફોન બી કનેક્ટેડ છે તારો ફોનનો વાઈફાઈ બંધ કર.
I hope you all can hear me now. I apologize for the network issues. Give me a minute to set my screen. Give me a minute. Hello. No, I have again opened my, I was presenting my live demo. I have opened that, but still it's not visible. No, it's open only now. Peop Okay. No, that's different. Because it's yellow now. It is keep on fluctuating actually.
ग्रीन आ रहा है उधर सिग्नल?
हाँ ग्रीन आ रहा है.
ओके देन आई विल एंड द कॉल नाउ. आपका माइक चालू है तो लाइव. ओके नुपुर यू आर लाइव.
What?
और नितिशा यू आर लाइव. सॉरी
अच्छा,
नितिशा यू आर लाइव.
okay. Hi everyone. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. that was, yeah, can you give me confirmation that am I audible? Then we'll present the live demo. We'll start with it. Am I audible? Okay, thank you so much for telling. So, okay, this is the Cleartax portal. So, this is the free filing software. If you are filing it yourself, then you need to click on this one. If you are using any kind of expert assistant services, then you need to click on this thing. So, first let's start with income tax filing on your own. So I'm assuming that now everyone would have got their form 16. So just click on upload form 16 PDF. When you will click on this one, select the form 16 PDF which you are having. Click on proceed. If you are having part A and part B, then click on this yes, proceed. Upload part B of form 16. If it's in one single, then it's well and good. But if we are having two form 16, part A and part B separately, then upload both of them and click on continue. In case if you are having another form 16 from another company, then you need to click on this one and upload the another form 16 as well and click on proceed to filing. When you will click on proceed to e-filing, you will see this kind of first page will be there where your first name and first name you have to enter, last name, enter your date of birth, PAN number and father's name. If it's automatically fetched, then it's good. Then you need to go on to address column. So whatever the address has been mentioned in your form 16 will be auto fetched by the software. If you need to change it or if you need to change any kind of details or information, you can change it or you can just edit all the options. Every option are editable. So likewise, you can enter your personal information in first tab. Click on save button and you will be coming on to second tab, which is income sources. So here you will see that there are all 5 heads of income available: salary, other income, house property, capital gain and business and profession. So we'll be discussing one by one all of them. So after uploading your form 16, you will see that all the data from your form 16 has been directly fetched by the software and you don't need to enter any kind of details in this. So here standard deduction has been taken. If you want to save and add any other salary details, you can click on this and click on save button. When you will click on save, you will see the income from other sources head. Here, whatever income if you are having from any other head which do not fall into salary head, house property, capital gain, business and profession, those income will fall under this head. So if you are having any kind of interest from saving bank account, so you need to enter in this column and you will get deduction under section 80 TTA, which will be shown in this deduction head. So enter the interest income. If you are having interest income from deposits, enter in this. Then any kind of dividend income from domestic company, you can enter in these columns. So if you have any kind of exempt income and agricultural income, those you need to show in this other income head and click on save and continue. If you are having any house property details, so in C point you will see house property head. You need to click here. Then here you will see that type of house property head is there. In this case, if you are having self-occupied house property, go on click on this and enter all the details. If you are having rental property, deemed let out property, whatever your house property is, select that type and whatever interest amount you are paying as your EMI, you need to enter in this column. So here is a line also suggestion that if you are having a housing loan against a house you live in, then you can claim a tax reduction of up to rupees 2 lakh, because this is the maximum amount which you can claim the interest amount of. In case if you are having any kind of interest paid during the pre-construction period, you can enter in this column. Then you have to enter your address of your new house property. If it's same as your personal information address which you have entered into, then you can just tick mark this and your address will be shown over here. If not, then you can change the details also. Then if you are having co-owner, then you need to mention the detail of your co-owner and click on save button. And again, if you are having any other house property also, then you can click on this save and add another house property. When you will click on this save, if you are having any kind of equity shares, then stocks or whatever amount which you have sold, then our Cleartax software support this. You need, as Cleartax software supports Scams, Carvey, Zerodha, Upstocks and Grow Paytm. So in case if you're having these documents, you can directly choose the report provider and select the file over here. But in case if you're having any other documents apart from CAMS, Carvey and anything, then you need to download this Cleartax Excel template. Here you need to fill all the data in this, and then you can upload this file, and after uploading this file, all your capital gain data will be automatically filled over here in the capital gain head. So likewise you can fill the capital gain details as well. Then in case if you are having any kind of let's say freelancing income, if you are having, then any kind of speculative income you are having from intraday share trading and all, then you need to enter all those income in the head of business and profession. So here you will see that whatever income, presumptive income, if you want to fall into like 44AD, 44ADA, presumptive income, then in the respective column you can add the details and click on save button and proceed. So these are all the 5 heads of income. Whatever income you're having, you can choose that head of income and enter all the details. When you will come on to the third point, which is deduction. So in the deduction tab, you will see that whatever deduction were entered in your form 16 will again be automatically fetched by the software. So in the form 16, ATC was maximum up to 1.5 lakh. So our software took this amount. But if you were like, okay, you have not submitted the entire amount to your employer, then you can change the details at the time of ITR filing also, based on the actual receipts which you are having, which you have not submitted to your employer. Then if you are having any kind of saving bank interest income, then it will be shown over here. If you have any donation receipts, then under section 80G you can add or remove any donation. And in more deduction you will see that 80D, which talks about medical insurance premium. So here you can enter all those details. For yourself and family, you can enter the amount over here. For parents, if they are below 60 years of age, you can enter the amount 60 to 79 and 80 years or above. Accordingly, you can select your parents' age and enter the amount over here. Then in case if you are having any kind of education loan, you need to enter those 80CCC, 80CCD 1 and 1B. You can enter the amount in respective columns, and likewise you can enter all the deduction whatever you are having in these 3 tabs which are talks about deductions. Then fourth point comes about is of taxes paid. So if you are having your form 26AS with you, and apart from your salary details in your form 26AS, if you have any kind of fixed deposit income, then you need to click here to upload your form 26AS. Click on this, upload your form 26AS, and all the data of your form 26AS will be fetched by the software. So then after going on to the tax filing tab, here you will see if your taxes are entirely paid, then you will see that great, you have no tax due. But in case here tax payable amount is coming, then first you need to pay the taxes amount, and going on to the taxes paid, you need to click on self tax payment, add entry over here, enter the amount which was tax payable, BSR code and challan number, and after that you need to click on save and then go to tax filing. If you are having any kind of refund also, then it will be shown over here. After this, all the things are done. You need to click on this download ITR JSON, and here are the steps, the guidelines also, that how you can use this ITR JSON to file in your income tax portal. Likewise, you have to follow the procedure and you can successfully upload your ITR JSON file in the income tax portal and your return will be filed successfully. When you will scroll down, you can also see that which regime is more beneficial for you. Our software gives a comparison table also, that in old regime you can see that these many amounts are coming and you are having no amount of tax payable. But in new regime, standard deduction and all the chapter 6A deduction are not available, so that is why this person is getting tax payable of so and so amount. So in case if you want to switch the regime, you can click on this and switch the regime. So normally Cleartax suggests that which regime will be more beneficial for you. So likewise, you can accordingly take the decision and proceed with your return filing. So this was all about the Cleartax demo, that how you yourself can file your ITR using this. I hope this you understood this thing very well, and sorry for the inconvenience caused in between due to network issues, but I think now it's very clear. So in case if you have any doubts during the session, uh, if you have any doubts, you can just write to us at support@cleartax.in, and this video will be available on YouTube only. You can access it anytime, and the PPT will also be over here in the video. Thank you all for joining.